Audio. Okay, there we go. No, I don't. That doesn't sound right. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. The mic is working. The live. Is the live in? Yes, the live is live in. Okay. I should run a test. Where's my freaking phone? Let's see. It says there's one person in here. Can y'all hear me? Hello?
Better bang for the buck rather than go to.
No. Let's see. Can I hear myself? Okay. I think I can hear myself. Alright. Let's.
Situation with even going to a movie theater. So you get to realize that just watching a movie probably cost maybe at least $100. Let's be conservative. Netflix kind of fixed that. Hey, listen, you could just have a subscription. You could get all the new movies, or you get new content, or content maybe you haven't seen before. You could watch it in the comfort of your home. You could order food on your DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever. And you've turned what used to be, okay, you got to pay money to drive to someplace or Uber a chick someplace and, buy drinks there, You get one bottle.
All right, come on. Let's see, where are my headphones? Where are my headphones at? Okay, you know what? Let's start this off with, what was it? Purple Mooch? Purple Mooch? Something like that? No, what was his name? Purple Drank? Okay. Let's see. Bear with me, everybody. Trying to make sure my setup is good, so there's no freaking echo when I play stuff. Let's see. Alright, what's something good to just listen to some audio one.
Today we're talking about the Watchers. These are heavenly beings that are mentioned in the ancient book of Enoch. They were sent to help guide humanity, but instead cause its downfall. They were angels with wisdom and power, chosen because they were disciplined and devoted to God. In the book of Enoch, it is described how the worst result of the Watchers' rebellion was the creation of the Nephilim. The Nephilim were mixed beings, being born from forbidden relationships between angels and humans. The Watchers were meant to be guardians, an invisible barrier between the heavenly world and the human world. But what happens when those who are supposed to guide humanity starts to question their own duty? What if their interest turns into something forbidden, something dark, perhaps evil? So, we're going to go through all the details, everything you need to know about the Watchers. So let's dive in.
Alright, I think I finally have it.
What's up, people, and welcome back to Religion Camp. My name is Mark Gagnon, and thank you for joining me in my tent, where every single week, every Sunday, we explore the most interesting, controversial, and strange stories from every religion from around the world, from all time. And of course, I'm joined by my fearless producer and dear friend, Gabe Reyes. What's up? All right, dude, come on. It's just constantly talking, this guy. He's just yapping nonstop. We don't have time, Gabe, because today we're talking about the Watchers, the Anunnaki. This is just an all-time classic religious tale. If you know anything about this story, I mean, it is truly one of my most favorite and most fascinating topics to discuss when it comes to arcane texts from around the time of the early church and of Christ, and basically any type of biblical history. This is a story from the books of Enoch, specifically First Enoch. And it is fascinating. It has transgressed time. It has it has a foothold in many different facets of sci-fi, religious history, film, TV, the Anunnaki, the idea of Prometheus, the bringer of light that actually causes humanity's downfall. We're going to go through all the details, everything you need to know about the Watchers. So let's dive in, okay? These are heavenly beings that are mentioned in the ancient book of Enoch. They were sent to help guide humanity, but instead cause its downfall. They share a forbidden knowledge that changes history of, the human race. And this knowledge brings both progress and destruction to the world. And the reason why this is not included in the Bible, well, we'll discuss, okay? So, according to the Book of Enoch, this was an ancient Jewish text from around 300 BC. The Watchers were not ordinary angels, okay? They were a special group chosen by God for a unique mission, all right, to watch over humanity in its early days. Their job is important, but particular, okay? They have to observe, guide, and protect the human race as it took its first steps into the world. At this time, again, according to the Book of Enoch, people had barely begun to discover what they could do. Life was simple, but it was hard to predict, right? Filled with both beauty, but also struggle, and communities were starting to form. But staying alive felt like fighting against nature itself. And again, I'm fascinated by these types of texts, not because I believe them. I don't read the Book of Enoch and think like, oh, this is actual historical literature, but it does give you an insight into some of the ideas and theories about spirituality and divinity that the, Jewish people or some specific sects of Judaism had in this time. So God, Hashem, in his wisdom, decides to give the Watchers, this specific group of angels, a holy task. They weren't supposed to directly interfere with humanity, but to just quietly guide people and make sure that humanity grew according to God's plan. And the Watchers, these were amazing beings. They were angels with wisdom and power, chosen because they were disciplined and devoted to God. They were meant to be guardians, an invisible barrier between the heavenly world and the human world. From their position in the heavens, they watched humanity's happiness, their sadness, and our strengths, our weaknesses. And humanity, again, it's not perfect, right? We already had the fall according to the Book of Genesis.
Is my audio working?
Untapped potential.
Okay, let's see. What are we doing?
But what happens when those who are supposed to guide humanity starts to question their own duty? What if their interest turns into something forbidden, something dark, perhaps evil?
Okay.
The story of the Watchers takes a turn. Everything you need to know about how the Watchers should have acted is in the name. They were supposed to watch.
All right, but how's my audio, though? That's what I want to know.
And their actions would shake the very foundation of creation. It started with curiosity, maybe even like an admiration, and soon this admiration turned into something more dangerous. The beauty of human life, with complicated emotions, and yes, of course, the appeal of human women proved too much for some of them. One angel, Semyaza, couldn't resist. He saw something amazing in humanity.
All right, so I think my audio is working and my mic's working.
Potential. And he knew the dangers.
I think I finally got this working.
But still, he couldn't ignore what he wanted, so he came up with a plan.
Easy enough, right?
He was going to fall from grace, and he wasn't going to fall alone. Semyaza gathered others, convincing them to make a promise of rebellion, and 200 of these Watchers, 200 angels, agreed to leave their heavenly jobs, coming down to earth to act on their earthly desires, no matter the cost. And this is where
does it really have that freaking
this is the beginning of something much bigger, something that would affect
feedback sound this
of
whole
the
time?
development
What the hell?
of humanity. The story of the Watchers is far from over,
that?
but what they did wasn't just betrayal. It might have been the start of a new chapter in human history. So the Watchers didn't come to earth empty-handed also. They brought gifts, powerful, life-changing knowledge that pushed humanity forward in ways we never could have imagined. But as history has shown, knowledge can be both helpful and hurtful. What the Watchers gave us helped build civilization, but it also brings chaos. So let's start with Azazel. Among the 200 Watchers, or angels, his name stands out, and for good reason. Azazel taught humanity metallurgy, showing us how to make weapons from iron and bronze. And this was a lesson in control and power. So with weapons, humans no longer needed to depend on just physical strength or large numbers. Power could now be held by those who controlled the tools of war. As a result, the battles become bloodier and fights get worse. And tribes
Man,
battle for
let's get
land,
this
resources,
audio
and
working
revenge.
better.
The
What
weapons
the
bring
hell?
power, but it also creates chaos and violence. But as Azel doesn't stop there, he also reveals the secrets of decoration and beauty. Things like jewelry, makeup, other symbols of beauty became common. And what might seem, harmless in today's time was, in ancient times, something completely new. And these gifts create vanity and desire, and they cause
See,
envy
the
and
audio's still gonna do that?
and the Watchers had shown humanity a world where appearance could be a weapon just as dangerous as any cannon or gun. So while Azazel shaped Earth's physical tools, another Watcher, known as Kokabel, turned humanity's eyes to the heavens. He taught us astrology, the study of stars, and the secrets of how these celestial bodies move. And to early humans, this is life-changing.
Okay, so now there's feedback.
Unknowable space now becomes a cosmic map that can predict seasons and help navigation and find distant lands and even, maybe, predict future events. But with this knowledge comes another temptation, the desire to
Strings
control.
annoying. Why can't I not figure this out?
Armaros taught the art of spells and curses, introducing humanity to the world of magic. And these teachings opened doors to control the natural world and other people. And magic, once hidden in shadows, now becomes a tool for those.
What could that feedback be?
At first,
What
these
the
gifts seem like
fuck?
blessings, right? You can navigate, you can build, weapons, you can protect yourself. And farming improves, and societies become more
Okay,
organized.
well,
Humanity
sorry to
begins
everybody
to
that's
take
watching.
control of an environment.
If it has like annoying
Watcher's
feedback
knowledge built the
sounds, but
foundation for
I can't seem to
civilization,
figure it out.
But the progress comes at a cost. The weapons lead to war, vanity causes corruption, magic and astrology, once tools of wonder, become sources for fear and manipulation. But it gets even crazier. In the Book of Enoch, it is described how the worst result of the Watchers' rebellion was the creation of the Nephilim. Again, this is something that is in sort of apocryphal gospels or Gnostic gospels, that, books that are around the time of many of the books we know from the Bible, but are not included in the biblical canon. But reference to the Nephilim does exist in the biblical canon. But in this specific instance, this is from the Book of Enoch, which is not included, but it does share the same word, which is very interesting. The Nephilim were mixed beings. In the Book of Enoch, it's described as being born from forbidden relationships between angels.
Why would he do that? So it's definitely the microphone. What the fuck? We're gonna have to figure this out. Okay, well, we're gonna have to just make it work. And if y'all don't like the audio, like if it's that bad, I'll just pause the stream and I don't know, figure it out. What is happening here? This audio is really pissing me off. what would the audio sound coming straight from the webcam? Like, is my microphone fucked up? Let's see. Okay, well, interesting. What the hell? Alright, well, it doesn't have that annoying feedback sound. Alright.
Fucked them. Spotify has
Okay,
now,
well, this is
through
just
their
gonna have to
last
be the
couple
audio
of
until I get it figured out.
through their last couple quarterly meetings, and also their press releases.
Okay, so boom! The scene kicks off with Kakashi, Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru tracking down Team 10's biggest op, Kakuzu and Hidan. As you can see, we got a much better squad on the scene this time. Much better might be a stretch, but it's an upgrade for sure. I don't know what kind of perk 50 Tsunade was on while making that C-tier 4-man squad, but she basically set them up for failure. If I was Shikamaru after that gruesome showdown, as soon as I touched back down in the league, I would have bum rushed Tsunade's office and knocked every blonde hair follicle out her head. But instead, like the wise man he is, he put all of his energy into getting his get back. As Kakuzu and Hidan continue to walk towards the lead, Ino manages to use her mind transfer jutsu on a hawk to pinpoint their exact location. And just like that, they now have the drop on the zombie combo. So Shikamaru wastes no time putting that big brain of his to use. As Kakuzu and Hidan continue to walk, Shikamaru tries to discreetly extend his shadow stitches to trap both of them. Unfortunately for Shikamaru, they immediately feel his presence and jump out the way. But as soon as they land, two paper bombs come raining down on them. Hidan blocks one with his sight while Kakuzu blocks the other with his hardened arm. But before they could even retaliate, Shikamaru jumps in the air and throws two more paper bombs in their direction. So of course, they instinctually dodge it. But to both of their surprise, the paper bombs didn't detonate at all. And that is when they realize they've been got. Yes, sir, let's go. See, that's too easy. Now, as happy as I was watching this, I was still in no mood to celebrate. All I desperately wanted was for Shikamaru to finish the job with a quickness. But this nigga must have not learned from the last time, because homeboy hit the same cocky smirk he did when he thought he had Hidan the first time. He then jumps down and starts explaining to them how he was able to trap them by using his chakra blades and aiming it at their shadows so that it could absorb their chakra and yada yada yada. Now this is cool and all, but Shikamaru, respectfully, shut the fuck up. We not trying to hear that, bro. You should be rearranging this man's face right about now. No long talking, just straight mink, mink, mink. This man had Asuma unconscious with his booty tooted up in the air. There should be no smiling. You're not mad enough for me right now. After explaining his whole game plan, Shikamaru removes the chakra blades, then proceeds to hit Hidan with his shadow possession jutsu. He forces Hidan to walk to his site, then pick it up. Then out of nowhere, Shikamaru starts running, forcing Hidan to charge at Kakuzu with his sight. But hold up, how he go from shaking like he got Parkinson's to full-on running at top speed? Every time he gets one of them in a shadow possession jutsu, it looks like he's struggling to even make them move an inch. But now he's sprinting like he's Noah Lyles? That doesn't make sense, but you know what? I'ma let it slide. After grabbing his sight and running towards Kakuzu, Hidan finally jumps up and gets ready to take off his head. But right as Hidan swings his sight, Kakuzu manages to duck out the way. These niggas got a counter for everything. It turns out Kakuzu's arm is able to move independently from his body. This man hid his hand underground during the explosion, then used it to remove the chakra blade that had him stuck. Now we're stuck watching this man reconnect his nasty ass arm. Cameraman had this symbiote twerking in my face for a good 10 seconds. We did not need to see this. Shikamaru also must have been traumatized by that sight, because he wasted no time and quickly rushed at Kakuzu while rapidly swinging his sight. Kakuzu continues to dodge the blows, but his back eventually gets pinned to a tree. And that is when Captain Obesity comes crashing down on Kakuzu's head with his spiky human boulder. Choji then comes sliding out of the dust, and now they're waiting for all the debris to
I wanna
clear.
put
But
this
to
here.
absolutely nobody's surprise, that shit didn't even make a scratch. Of all the people on this squad, you must have been out of your mind if you thought it was gonna be Choji to make the first dent. Absolutely not. Now Kakuzu's explaining to them that his special ability is being able to harden his body when needed. So to put it short and sweet, physical attacks are essentially useless on him. But mid-explanation, Kakashi pulls up out of nowhere and puts a Chidori in his back. You see, this is what I'm talking about. People often underestimate the element of surprise. Stop letting these niggas get full-on TED Talks in, especially when you're working with a time-sensitive jutsu such as Shikamaru's. Kakashi can see that Shikamaru's grasp on Hidan is slowly slipping away, so he knows he has to act fast. Kakuzu, with Kakashi's arm still in his chest meat, continues to grunt and moan for a bit longer until finally he drops to his knees and collapses on the ground. As big of a victory as this was, there's still no time to celebrate. Kakashi knows Hidan's also not one to mess with, so he quickly boots up his Chidori and runs towards him. But right before he could call game, this green-eyed zombie freak kicks Kakashi in his ribcage, sending him crashing into a tree. Like, how? They can't keep getting away with this. They just won't die. Kakashi just Chidori'd this man through the heart. Even had that man groaning and moaning, and you're telling me he's still alive. And to make things even worse, this man rips off his robe and reveals this ungodly build. And now the demons are trying to claw their way out of his body. Bro, look at their faces. They're traumatized. Got my man Choji in the back reconsidering his life choices. I feel him though. A sight like this would have had me passing around my resume to every shop and restaurant in the league. This shinobi lifestyle is not for me. The demons finally break free from Kakuzu's back, and now we see 4 giant black blobs posted up behind him. What the even are these? Nigga, is that Babadook? Are those Shinigamis? What am I looking at? Shikamaru's shadow possession jutsu finally wears off, and just like that, the zombie duo now has the advantage. But to everyone's surprise, before they could even start throwing hands, the demon with the mask that Kakashi broke suddenly collapses. So now Kakashi knows how to take them down. Just as Kakashi begins to formulate a plan on how to beat this man, Hidan comes charging in at full force, swinging his scythe at him in every which way. Kakashi manages to block and evade all of his attempts to draw some blood, but that's when this Babadook comes flying in out of nowhere, then hits both Hidan and Kakashi with a wind-style pressure damage jutsu. That jutsu was so strong that it causes this huge tornado of wind, destroying all the trees around it. But that was just the beginning. Kakuzu then uses another one of his Babadooks to boot up this nasty lightning blast, which he sends right at Shikamaru and Choji. Shikamaru tries to stop the blow, but he was just too slow. Nigga whipped out a scroll talking about something. Oh no, too late. Brother, what was your plan here? Cause you were definitely watching him charge up that attack for a hot minute. You even
Alright, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Am I cooked? Am I cooked? I'm cooked, y'all. Fucking A. If I go down, you can check me like that. Oh, man, I think I messed up. Damn, I think that's checkmate. Fuck. Damn. He missed checkmate. What a dummy. I'm not gonna let him get that now. You dummy. This dummy missed out on his checkmate. Well, might as well take something, right? For messing up. He's just gonna perpetually checkmate me. Checking me. Ah, it's gonna be so annoying. doubt he's gonna take. He would be dumb to take. I doubt he'd take. Yeah, I didn't think so. All right, well, it's not the most exciting win, but I think I got him this time. There we go. I can definitely win this off time alone. Let's do this. I really don't want to stalemate. Now he's gonna freaking take my last pawn, and that's annoying. Oh my god. I fucked up. Yo! Yeah. How the freak did I just have that happen? Alright, I think YouTube's too distracting. Who does this guy think he is? Alright, earlier we kicked this guy out of my position. He's pissing me off. Mm. You know what? Open up your fucking position, bitch. Open it up. I'm gonna go in and infiltrate. Don't you worry about that. What should I take with? afraid he'd do that. It's pretty annoying. Uh, well, let's take this check while I have it. Mhm. Hmm. What's he gonna do? He's gonna do something annoying. I can feel it. Mm. Yeah, this guy's annoying. Um, I really want to activate my rook. Yeah, this guy's super annoying. So annoying. Um, let's see. What would Magnus do? Definitely wouldn't be doing the moves I'm doing. Fuck you, dude. Yeah, I feel like my position shattered already. I feel like the only way to win would be to flag. Mm, wow. This guy might be the most annoying player I've played in like a while. Where's this guy from? Indonesia? Okay. They're usually pretty solid players from my experience. Mm, screw you, buddy. Was that a bad move? Fuck. Yeah, that was a bad move. Fuck me, dude. Yeah, I'm screwed. It doesn't matter what happens. I'm screwed. I don't think I've won a single game on this stream. What the heck? Okay. I'm gonna play more familiar to my play style. Oops. No. Did not mean to do that.
Dude, is it true that if I leave my SSD unplugged, it'll delete all my files?
So, yeah, all SSD drives use NAND flash, which is a way of writing data into tiny transistor structures. And so it uses a voltage to essentially move electrons into certain parts. Using those charges, it can represent different sections as ones or zeros.
What happens if I leave it unplugged?
Over time, electrons can move around. And because there's such small little volumes in which electrons are being placed into, it's very sensitive to if an electron moves out, the 1 or 0 can fade away, and so a 0 can turn into a 1 or vice versa.
So if I don't plug it in, those electrons just start to float around and the data changes and maybe becomes corrupt?
Unfortunately.
So what about the old like spinning disk hard drives? Do they have the same issue?
HDDs rely on magnetic fields instead of electric domains, so it doesn't happen. You're essentially waiting for the material properties itself to degrade. Basically, don't put this into a drawer and forget about it for 10 years.
Okay. Dude, is it true that if I leave my SSD unplugged, it'll delete all?
Good to know.
Are we the baddies? There's a funny skit that's online where there's two SS Nazi soldiers
Okay. All right.
defending themselves against the Russians. And one of them comments and says, "Hey Hans, do you ever wonder if we're the baddies? I mean, why do we have the logo of a skull on our hats?" It's a funny skit. I just saw it
shit.
for the first
I
time.
meant to
I've seen
go
memes
up
of
two
it. I saw it
spaces,
for the
not
first time this
one.
morning.
Fuck me.
And it really got me thinking. I was like, how does that process of self-realization, of self-reflection actually work?
I don't know why I'm making all these mistakes on the stream today.
How do people realize that maybe what they're doing and their choices, their actions, are hurting themselves and their neighbors? In this skit, this soldier is not quite realizing, but he's pondering it, and then his companion soldier doesn't even know why he's wondering about this, like totally oblivious. It's like, of course, we're the best thing. We are the good guys. But his friend is like, things just don't quite make sense. And then towards the end of the skit, they both realize, oh my gosh, we are the bad guys. And then they try to desert their position. I was looking at an article this morning. The article was posted on some kind of wild animal humane society. And they were celebrating World Elephant Day.
Are we the baddies?
I guess World Elephant Day is a day to
interesting
commemorate elephants. But this article
We're definitely the baddies, dude. It's because
that was written to commemorate World
money is
Elephant Day was
driving us.
celebrating
No morals at all.
that humans have administered a
that
contraceptive vaccine to elephants in, I think, Thailand. This vaccine works by coating some kind of antigen in liposome, and they injected it into elephants to prevent them from being able to have their eggs fertilized. They can't reproduce. They can't make babies. they were celebrating this feat, a feat of human ingenuity and humaneness, to sterilize elephants, because they were saying that otherwise elephants would be inhumanely shot to death, because humans need space, and human settlements are encroaching upon the jungle. Actually, they said that elephants are encroaching on the human settlements that are expanding. So you see, it's like the subtle like switching of who's the bad guy. The elephants are coming into our villages, which are expanding, because that's what villages do. They expand into the jungle. But these dastardly elephants have the gall to come into our village, which we are expanding into the jungle. If only there was a way. If only if there's a way that we don't have to kill them, because when we kill them, we shoot them, we feel bad, because we just killed them. We're bad. Maybe it'd be so much better if we just do an injection, like a medicine. Like we're helping them, and then they just disappear. There's no more elephant babies. They just disappear.
No, definitely. Whoa,
Nobody's killing them. They just don't show up in our villages anymore.
Did he know I was about to do that?
That was what the celebration of World Elephant Day was. I was appalled.
Oh my god.
That's really messed up. Holy moly. What the heck? God, I wish I could just have a mirror and show those people, look at what you're doing. Look at yourself. What in the world? There was another kind of funny thing. There's a YouTuber who
okay.
who
Alright, hold on. Let's see.
He trolls people. Sorry, I don't remember his name, but if you Google what I'm about to talk about, if you internet search it, you'll find it. This guy set up a fake ICE hotline. ICE is Immigration Custom Enforcement. He set up a fake hotline for U.S. citizens to report their neighbors who they suspect are illegal immigrants. So he set up this hotline, but people actually call it. They think it's real. And so he answers the phone, and there was this kindergarten teacher who called and was like, "Hi, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I have this student. And this student, I know he was born here, but I know his parents were not born here. Both of them. They were born in 2 different countries. And they just seem out of place." And this guy's like, "Why do they seem out of place?" And she's like, "Well, because they're not in the city." And so he just keeps talking to this lady, and she wants ICE to deport her own student, a kindergartner, like a 5-year-old. She thinks the parents are illegals. And so this guy, obviously is not ICE. He's just a YouTuber who trolls people. He literally just says the exact same thing that the lady is saying. He just repeats it back to her. And then she says, "Well, if you put it that way, gosh, it makes me sound like a bad person." So close. So close to realizing. I think humans are capable of immense self-deception. I mean, just like, it's just incredible. We all deserve like gold medals in the Olympics for mental gymnastics. Wow. The insects are coming back. This is great. It's warming up again. I'm happy about that. I don't even know what kind of insect that was. I thought it was a mosquito, but it wasn't. I wish that there was more self-reflection. I wish that people would like look at their actions and just like think about, are my actions and choices, oh shoot, that is a mosquito. Hello, mosquito. Please don't bite me. Oh my gosh. I wish people would think about their actions more. Here's another one. Yesterday, the administration of the United States executive branch reversed a science statement that has been guiding U.S. policy for, I think, over a decade. And that statement is that CO2, carbon dioxide, and other greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere is harmful to human health. This administration says that is a hoax, that's fake. Meanwhile, global average temperatures have already breached what was deemed to be the upper limit of safety, 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial baseline. In fact, it's accelerating. We will likely breach 2 degrees Celsius within a decade. This is 1.5 degrees Celsius was the upper limit of safety decided by all the countries. Very smart scientists getting together and saying, hey, once we cross 1.5, things start to get really messed up. And if we get past 2, things start to really get messed up. And if you start to get to like 3 or 4, yeah, it's goodbye civilization, because you can't grow food anymore. The weather is too erratic. There's going to be areas of wet bulb heat deaths. Wet bulb temperature is the combination of high temperature and high humidity, or it's the combination of the two. If you're in a very humid place and the temperature is hot, you can't sweat and cool down, so your body overheats and then you die from heat stroke. You could be in a very high temperature but low humidity, like a desert, and survive at higher temperatures. So that's why you use a wet bulb temperature, because it
Okay, I can't lie. This
it essentially
so boring. What's up, doggy? Let's get rid of this guy's freaking bishop. So annoying. Oh, hell no. What's he trying to do with that? That looks really suspicious. Fuck you. What should I do about this guy? I don't appreciate his bishop pointing at me like that. We're gonna have to just get him out of here. So we're gonna uninvite him from the party. Next, we're just gonna move some. Damn it, I don't like this. Should I pull it back? I don't really see any good moves. This dude's kind of pissing me off. Then go here, pull this back, then put my bishop here. That's what I'm thinking. Is that a good plan or not?
I said there's a danger that America could be fighting wars on three major fronts. America could be fighting simultaneously Russia, Iran, and China. And then she looked at me and said, that's fine. We're America.
They don't even care. Yeah, the boomers are not thinking about future generations and what World War III would. They're just like, oh yeah, we're fine. We did World War II. We won. Boomers are still riding off the World War II high. It's like, bitch, it's been almost 100 years. Why the West is doomed? Professor Zhang, predictive history. Let's see.
Good morning, YouTube. So,
hey,
I know that you flock this channel because I am such a sunny and optimistic person.
Should we take notes on this too?
Here in a world of gloom. You may face some difficulties in your life, but you know that when you watch my videos, I'm going to tell you how great the world is. Unfortunately, today, it's all going to be doom and gloom. I'm going to talk about how the Western world
is going to fail,
going to collapse, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Yikes.
So, let me start with a concrete example.
Oh, my bad.
I live in Canada, and these past few years, I've just seen Canadian society get
I
worse
really
and
just
worse.
let that happen.
Is he saying that Indian immigration with H-1B visas is browning it up? Huh? What's wrong with that, Professor Jang, you racist? We want more Indian immigration.
A lot of the issue is this relentless immigration in the past 5 years.
Called it.
Millions of people have come into this country seeking a better life. Unfortunately, they congregate in only a few cities where there are economic opportunities. And as a result, housing prices have gone up, inflation has gone up, cost of living has gone up, but wages have been stagnant or depressed because of the surge in cheap labor. And in Toronto, if you're not making at least $100,000 a year, it's very hard to get by.
You're broke!
Frankly, most are not making that kind of money, and most are struggling. So crime has gone up, homelessness has gone up, drug addiction has gone up. It's a very dire situation in Canada. Now, it's easy to blame the immigrants. And I don't think the reason are the immigrants. I myself am an immigrant, so maybe I'm biased. But I will say that we came over in about 1983, and my dad was a high school teacher in a village in Canada. My dad was a high school teacher in our village back in China. And we were really thankful for our opportunity to come to Canada, and we felt really blessed because life back in China was just terrible. It's really hard for anyone today to imagine the poverty in China back then during the Cultural Revolution. But let me give you a concrete example. 15 years ago, my dad came to visit me in Beijing when I was working as a high school administrator. And he bought an entire duffel bag, a huge duffel bag of toilet rolls, 24 toilet rolls. And the reason why is toilet paper was considered the ultimate luxury back in our village during the Cultural Revolution. And so maybe he wanted to give these toilet rolls to all his relatives and show everyone that he's made it in Canada. Well, the problem was that he had a very hard life in Canada, as most recent immigrants do. He was a dishwasher for his entire life. And as a dishwasher, working in restaurants and
You mean
bars,
a woman?
he encountered a lot of racism and humiliation. So let me give you an example.
Ching chong, bing bong, wing wing wong. Small knees, Japanese, dirty knees. Look at these.
One day, my dad and I went to a supermarket to buy some butter. We couldn't find the butter because the supermarket was just huge. So my dad, he saw a clerk wearing his uniform, his white uniform, and my dad asked him, "Sorry, sir, do you know where the butter is?" Okay? I mean, his English isn't that great though, but it was pretty easy to understand what my dad wanted. The store clerk looks at him briefly and says, "Sorry, I don't work here." Okay? So that's the sort of humiliation that my dad faced every day as a new immigrant in Canada who didn't have any status and whose English wasn't very good. We were very poor in Canada. We could easily qualify for welfare, but we didn't apply for welfare because we didn't know welfare existed. I remember late at night, my dad would sneak out across the street and pick up some sofas or chairs that the neighbors had discarded, and they would become our furniture. My dad cut my hair. So believe it or not, but when I was younger, my hair was actually worse than it is today.
His hair's fine. I don't know what he's giving a self-deprecating joke. You guys are saying, "Oh, why are you taking notes?" It just helps me actively listen. I kind of want to do this for more video reactions too. Like note taking does help me focus up on what I'm paying attention to. I kind of wish that for the Peter Thiel videos and other stuff earlier that I was taking notes.
And so the kids made fun of me. I had bad hair, uneven hair. My mom bought me clothes from bargain outlets, so they were crappy clothes. They weren't Nike or Adidas that the other kids were wearing, and I smelled bad. So understandably, the other kids teased me. I was very unpopular. So I focused on school. I focused on getting out of poverty.
Like people saying just go back to college. This is like, what's the difference? If like you have access to professors who have valid information, why would you go to college when you can watch it on YouTube, right? Literally, like when we see the lectures here, when they record it and post it for free, why the fuck would you go to college, dumbass?
And through hard work, I went to Yale University on a full scholarship. And that opened new doors,
Yeah, I was born in New York City, but I grew up around Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. So actually this is pretty interesting. I know about Temple. He probably knows about the New Haven Green. I don't know if there's anybody from Connecticut or anybody from the 203 New Haven in here. Yeah, but he definitely knows. It was around a lot of the same plate. Maybe I bumped into him, to be honest.
For me. And so I really achieved the
A TTS
Canadian
at 10.
dream. And if it weren't for Canada, if it weren't for Yale, I wouldn't be able to make YouTube videos.
I really want to
So
put this
I'm very
here.
thankful for
Trap
Canada
'em.
and for Yale.
That'd be
So
the dream.
again, we're really thankful for the opportunity
Did
to
I
come.
get 'em?
But the reality
Yeah,
is,
right?
there's just too many immigrants
There's no way to
coming
block that.
into this country. And what's really happening is, even though you may have some short-term
Isn't it funny hearing from immigrants that there's too many immigrants? But I mean, it is true.
economic GDP burst, ultimately you're degrading the social capital, trust, and cohesion of Canada. Ultimately,
He really
the
reminds me of my
Canadian
grandfather.
identity has always been fragile, and all this massive influx of immigrants is making the identity much more fragile, which is in the long term going to affect Canada's capacity to work together, to innovate, to be resilient, to be cohesive as a society.
From 100 miles away.
Right now, a quarter, 25% of Canadians are foreign-born, first-generation immigrants like myself. So if there were ever a referendum and Canadians could choose whether or not to join the United States voluntarily, most of these immigrants would immediately say, let's join the United States because there are more economic opportunities. So in the long term, I don't see Canada staying together. I think Canada will ultimately be dismembered by the United States and be absorbed into the American empire in the next 20, 30 years. I don't think Canada right now can be a sustainable nation. Now, it's really easy to blame immigrants for all this. And most Canadians do, in fact, blame immigrants because that's what they encounter every day. They encounter immigrants not being able to speak English, not following the rules, cutting in line. They watch the news and see immigrants committing crimes. They see immigrants, rich immigrants, buying up these expensive property and making life miserable for everyone. So it's really easy to blame immigrants. But ultimately, we need to understand why this immigration is happening. And it's happening
because they destabilize countries in the Middle East in order to support Israel, and then they import all of the immigrants into the Western world to slowly decline because Israel wants to take over.
Because of the baby boomers. The baby boomers want three things. They want
no one fucks with the big Xena.
They want
not even you, little cock.
Free healthcare.
Good boy. The nigga in the chat just gave $10.
Oh yeah, first win of the stream. Let's
like, this is the
go.
Maybe watch this lecture a little bit. This proves my point that
wow, you play so
this is why so many
positionally.
people are watching me watch.
I don't know if you're being
the brain rot's getting so bad.
I don't know if you're being satirical. And by positionally, I mean head down, cheek spread. Hey man, I'm here for your entertainment. I never claimed to be a pro, but yeah, you could say I'm very positional. Women tune into the stream after a shower to. You're right, man. You're right. Yeah. You salty as hell. You're good though. I like it. I think you have a great point, clown. You're more inflated at 11:26 than an Enzo's blow up doll during peak. Shit. I don't need a blow up doll when I got your mama. So it is all good over here, buddy. Should I take it? Is it worth it? Is it worth taking? I think so. What do you got to say about that, clown? What do you got to say about that? Fucking 300 IQ move right there, huh?
The vast majority of people on this website are gooner idiots who just watch gambling all day. Their brains are getting fried while their countries get destroyed. Like, listen up and keep
Don't tell
giving
me you ran
more
away.
money.
I was having fun
Good
playing
bitch.
with you.
And they want the property prices to go up. Basically, they want the
Put
Canadian
TTS at 20.
economy to keep on growing and
Now he's mad.
Your
He's going to
body
keep on
has
TTS. Put it
the
at 20 now.
growing and
structural
growing,
integrity of a
regardless
Jenga
of
game played by
the
a team of principals.
consequences.
That's
Now,
not a
in
figure.
order for
That's
the
a
to
geological
want the
survey
Canadian
with a pulse.
the property prices
We're taking
to
fault
go up.
lines where your abs
Basically,
should be
they
at
want the
tectonic
Canadian
plates
economy to
shifting
keep
every
on
time.
growing and growing and growing,
Okay.
regardless
You were
of
doing good. Now
the,
you doing some
population.
ChatGPT
Okay.
bullshit.
Now, in order for the economy to grow,
Alright, you lost
there
points
are
on that one,
three
clown.
main mechanisms to
Do
accomplish
something.
this.
Be better.
The
Do
first
better.
mechanism
Please.
is to exploit
This
resources.
ChatGPT
Because
shit is not
Canada really
entertaining.
is the wealthiest country in the world. It has abundant, almost infinite resources, especially
Okay,
fresh
clown.
water, which is what the world is going to need in the next 100 years.
You
So
lost
Canada's extremely
points.
wealthy place,
You lost hater
and
points.
it can choose to exploit and
No more
export a lot
ChatGPT
of these
bullshit.
resources. Okay,
Give
that's
me,
the first
give me
solution.
some good
The
shit.
second solution, which is much more sustainable, is to unleash the entrepreneurial energy of the Canadian people, to encourage more entrepreneurship, more privatization, to reduce the regulatory state, to reduce the red tape. Okay, that's the second solution. And the third solution is
All right, thank you for the
immigration.
follow.
Let's let in more immigrants.
Crito,
Let's let in the rich
welcome,
immigrants
welcome.
to pour cash into the economy. Let's let in poor immigrants.
How you doing,
so that they work
Crito?
as slave labor
Carito?
for Canadian corporations.
What's that?
So, of these three solutions, the Canadian
Welcome
government
to
went
the Icy
with
Gang,
the third solution: increase immigration.
where
Now, a lot
we get
of people out
roasted
there
by
believe that
sad
this is a
clowns,
conspiracy, that there's this
and
global
we
international
just do some
conspiracy out
learning.
there to dilute national identity, to destroy the idea of the nation
Just so you
state,
know, I'm not very
to
good.
reduce
I'm not
the
the
white
best player
gene
ever.
pool.
How you doing,
so
Nick? How are
I don't
you?
care
How are
about,
you
like,
on this
stupid
Friday
kid
night?
drama. Like, Walla, I don't give a fuck. Like, you guys, if
Where are
you
you
guys
from,
want to go
Crito?
see that stuff, like, then go watch it. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I shouldn't keep doing this back and forth stuff. There's far more important things to talk about. You want like stupid kick drama, then it's out there. Who cares? How many times you keep going back and forth? My position is stay the same. View botting should stop, and that's it. You know. And I respond sometimes when people diss, and other than that, I really don't care, bro.
A World Economic Forum white replacement theory conspiracy spearheaded by the Jews. And quite honestly, if the people in charge were this smart, were this well organized, the world wouldn't be in the mess that it is today. You'd be surprised
Where are you tuning
by
in
how
from,
idiotic,
Crito?
by how
From the East Coast, West
incompetent the
Coast?
people in charge are. So let me explain to you why immigration is increasing, not just in Canada, but also throughout the Western world. Okay, so to understand this, we need to understand the framework of the Canadian nation. What is Canada exist and what does Canada do? Well, Canada has some certain unique characteristics. First of all, it's a vast nation with almost infinite wealth, surrounded by two oceans, the Pacific and the Atlantic. And so Canada does not have like natural
Trying to get
predators
this guy
as they would
out of
in
my freaking butt
Europe.
cheeks
Canadians
right
grew
now.
up in a time of relative peace, safety, and security.
Where'd
The
the
problem,
clown
though,
go?
is
I was
that
enjoying
Canada
your
shares a
trolls,
border
but
with the world's
until you got to
most
the
powerful
ChatGPT,
empire,
it was
with
fun
history's
until
greatest
that.
empire, America. And so, in order to prevent conflict between Canada and the United States, the last major conflict between Canada and the United States was the War of 1812. To prevent the conflict,
Okay, I just played myself.
there's almost an implicit agreement between the people of Canada and
Damn
the
it.
people of America. Canadians, first and foremost, are not ambitious. If Canadians were ambitious, then Canada would be at war with America, and America would have absorbed Canada into the American Empire a long time ago.
Damn.
So Canadians, the core characteristic of the Canadian identity is lack of ambition in order to maintain peace and stability with America. And if you're not ambitious, then you're not going to industrialize, which means that you're going to maintain and safeguard the environment. you'll use some of the environment, but you'll make sure it's self-sustaining. So in other words, Canada is almost like a resource bank for the American empire. The American empire, when it needs, can always draw on the infinite resources of Canada. And so,
it's time to run away. Let's get out of here.
There are
Let's get out of
two main
here.
drivers of the Canadian economy. The first, as I said, is resource exploitation, but sustainable, limited resource exploitation.
This.
But the main driver
I think I'll be able to get
of the
back.
Canadian economy is
Have some decent footing
immigration.
again.
Canada allows rich, corrupt families to come to Canada to hide their wealth. Canada also welcomes cheap labor, poor immigrants like my father, to come to Canada to do all the work, so that Canadians can enjoy their life on drinking beer, drinking Molson's, a terrible beer by the way, by the cottage. And because of this economic framework, 3 major religions have developed in Canada to sustain this economic framework. The first religion is environmentalism. So Canadians love the environment. They believe it is their duty, their inherent duty, to protect and love trees. That's the first religion. Second religion is multiculturalism. The belief that diversity is good, mainly because white people love ethnic food. When white people think multiculturalism, they think ethnic restaurants, Mexican food, Chinatown, and so they love multiculturalism. But if immigrants become politically ambitious, like the Indians, no, you can't have that. So that's why Indians are so derided in Canada, because the Indians are actually politically active and effective. And but hey, if the Indians stick to making samosas every day, Canadians would love them. So in a multicultural society, what's really important is to be an open society and not have a distinct cultural identity. And this has created a lot of problems in Canada. It'll create further problems in Canada. And
I just gotta play decent.
Third major religion is bureaucracy, right? Because if you don't have your own ethnic identity, if you don't have a core ambition, then you need a regulatory state, a bureaucracy, in order to maintain everything together. You need people to tell you what to do. And Canadians worship authority. Canadians are extremely obedient. Canadians
super submissive.
I spoke too soon.
Believe experts know everything. Okay? So
damn, I spoke too soon. I almost said that.
How is Top G and Andrew Tate is different? You both hop on trends and backstab
what
friends.
Really good at?
Puss.
Well, the first thing is
good boy.
Man, we're gonna get this right. We're gonna get this.
And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people. Damn. Don't playing around here. Boo. Hey, you with the afro. Give it a rest. Beat it. Put the music back on. I did battle with ignorance today, and ignorance won. I admit that I'm often vexed at the behavior of my own people. Yeah, vexed is a good word.
I told you about messing with them white women.
You do what you can to help black folks, and they make you wonder why you even bother. But they're our people, and we gotta love them regardless. One thing for sure, though, can't blame this one on the white man. What am I saying? Of course I can.
I admit, I am envious of you. In China, if you lose $20 billion, they shoot you.
No, I did not do that.
$20 billion.
Amusing.
Our kickball team is very formidable this year. My granddaughter Ming is a team captain. I am hoping it will be an epic contest.
Yo, that's what I get for not paying attention, man. Fuck this guy. He pissing me off. Fuck you.
We'll see.
Got me losing my points.
Such a beautiful day with such a close friend talking about the unpleasantness of business.
I don't like how he plays. He plays against me, my style
My
too well.
associates are getting nervous. We need our money, all of it.
That's not possible.
Unfortunate.
Now, Mr. Doe, I'm sure we can find another way to work this out.
I'm listening.
Say, how's your gambling addiction?
Much better. Now.
I'm never playing kickball again.
Come on, boy, you have to do this. Ed Wonsler asked for you by name.
It's because of him I quit the game in the first place and gave Jennifer Herman a permanent severe limp.
Look, nobody needs to be reminded of that tragic day when you gave that girl a permanent severe limp. It was the Junior League Championship against Wonsler's team, and Ed had paid off the rep. And oh, you guys were losing bad. It was a blowout.
They were calling him the Tiger Woods of kickball before the wife cheating thing. Now they just call him loser.
Joey, you suck!
Play.
Okay, fine. If you don't want to play, you don't want to play. Ed, here he is as promised. Now get over here, boy.
Good job, Robert. I'll remember this when I do my Christmas yacht shopping.
Yeah, boy.
Now, Huey, the Wusheng Woodcrest Junior Senior Harmonious Kickball Tournament is the greatest kickball
I knew he was
competition
going
in
to do
the
that.
history
That's
of the
exactly why I took the piece first.
129 years ago, my great-great-grandpa, Prescott Rothschild Wunzler, sailed to Wusheng, China. The local monks had invented a game similar to baseball, except it involved a red rubber ball and a lot of kicking. He originally called it Jap baseball because he didn't know what country he was in and didn't care. He brought the sport back to America where the liberal PC bitchasses renamed it kickball. Today, in the spirit of harmony between our two cities, we alternate hosting a kickball tournament known as the Wusheng Woodcrest Junior Senior Harmonious Kickball Tournament.
There's no way I'm playing. Because of you, I gave a girl a permanent severe limp.
No, really? This little girl? That's right, Huey. Jennifer can walk just fine. Hit it, Jimmy. You were dominating the entire Woodcrest Junior League, and I couldn't have that. I made up the story about Jennifer's permanent limp, correctly assuming the emotional trauma of the event would make you quit the game. But now I need to win this game against the Chinese.
You were willing to scar me for life over a kickball game?
But that's how good of an opponent you were. But this game is bigger than you and me, Huey. I present the Woodcrest Harmonious Kickball Team. First, courtesy of Blackwater, USA. The senior squad.
Mercenaries?
They prefer the term private kickball contractors.
And this is the junior squad.
They're the best the Dominican Republic has to offer. As you can see, I've spared no expense for victory. It's the greatest junior senior kickball team ever assembled. Tell me you don't want to be part of kickball history.
I don't want to be a part of kickball history.
I'm not making a request. I'm prepared to blackmail you with a picture of you wearing Kanye West Venetian sunglasses, Nut Hugger jeans, and Louis Vuitton driving shoes.
That's Photoshop.
Explain that to media takeout.
I'll risk it.
All right, Huey. I'm not a fan of the truth, but here it is. The Chinese are calling in some debts, and I had to bet everything on this game. My banks, your home, everything. You think I'm bad? Just wait till the Chinese take away all the freedoms you enjoy. Freedom to complain. Freedom to have as many offspring and assault rifles as you like. The freedom to surf the internet for pornography of your choice.
Not the porn.
I'll risk it.
No yacht for you.
You are the one who quit game.
You must have been mistaken for somebody else.
You are a great player. Why do you quit? Why will you not play in the Harmonious Kickball Tournament?
What's it matter to you?
My name is Ming. I am captain of the Worcester Harmonious Junior Senior Kickball Team. Even before I was born, it was decided I would be a champion kickball player. At 3 years old, I was taken to the National Kickball Training Center outside of Beijing. I chose every day and every night to be the best. My grandfather says to control the ball, I must control myself. But just me and the ball alone is no kickball. Without or the opponents, I'm nothing. We must have the ultimate contest to settle once and for all who is the best.
Like I said, you have me mistaken for somebody else.
I feel like that was the right move.
I'll play, but I'm not interested in your ultimate contest. It's just a simple game of kickball.
So, you decided to come fight for freedom. Well, you made the right choice. All right, bring it in. A few minutes ago, in a gross violation of my civil liberties, the INS repossessed the 5 Dominican players from the junior squad of the Woodcrest Harmonious kickball team. We must immediately find a replacement for these players. I'm now exploring the possibility of child soldiers from Sierra Leone, but they may not get here in...
Huh? Say again? Affirmative, we're on our way. Come on, guys, that's us! Moving out! Moving out!
What's going on?
Sorry, Mr. Wassler. POW rescue in Afghanistan.
Wait! God damn it! Fuck the POW! You are staying here and playing kickball! Well, team captain, you've got 2 days to assemble a new team.
Team captain?
Yep, new team, no problem, Mr. Wassler. We're on it.
Who the fuck are you?
I am Jigme. I come from Tibet. I want to defeat the Chinese oppressors in kickball.
Why?
I hate fucking Chinese.
I'd like a word with you in private. This team is pathetic. They don't stand a chance against the Chinese. Not one single goddamn shot in hell. It'll be an embarrassment they'll never, ever live down for the rest of their miserable lives until they die. You know what one of these balls can do to a human body? They'll get torn to pieces, ripped to shreds. Some may even lose control of their bowels. By the 3rd inning, they'll be pissing and shitting on themselves right in front of their friends and loved ones. It's gonna be flat out fucking terrible. We must find some better athletes.
This is what you got.
I want to say a few words to everybody here about victory. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no time to train you people, but I have bought each of you a brand new pair of sneakers. These shoes were handmade with the youngest Chinese sweatshop labor we could find. Wear them with pride.
I'm gonna be like, take this, you yellow rat bastard.
Greetings, friends. Forgive our intrusion. We came to wish you luck in tomorrow's game. I look forward to an unforgettable contest. Give them their ball back.
Welcome, sports fans, to the 43rd biannual Wushang Woodcrest Junior Senior Harmonious Kickball.
Ran out of time. You got lucky. Oh, you got lucky.
Seems like the owner of the Wushang team is accusing one of the
was
Woodcrest
close,
players of
too.
being a ringer. The rules say any player must be a resident of Wushang or Woodcrest.
Oh, I just want to get to 1200.
Here is his hot Caucasian wife and half Asian baby.
And now the Woodcrest team is making a complaint. Looks like the Wushang team has one too many adult members. Everybody knows junior-senior tournament rules say the roster must have an equal number of kids and adults.
Dolo is strong and healthy, like many kids in China. But I assure you, he is only 12 years old. Here is the official keeper of government records to verify that fact.
Looks like the ref is gonna let it slide. Tough break for the home team.
Play kickball.
Huey Freeman on the mound. There is a lot of excitement about this young man's return to the sport of kickball. Little Ming Do steps up to the plate. What a treat to see these two titans of the game face off against one another.
Let's go, Huey!
Show 'em what's good. Huey!
Huey looks absolutely determined out there, folks. No, hello, and goodbye. And that one is out of here. Not a good start for Freeman.
You suck, Huey!
You worthless motherfucker.
Next picker is Lily Chang, a 73-year-old retired farm worker with diabetes. Folks, she's experiencing complete kidney failure. Hasn't peed in 3 years. This might just be the warm-up that Freeman needs. And here's the pitch. Mother!
What the hell do you call
I'm
this?
flying, all right?
Get your shit together.
Kick her up! Huey's not having the best day of his life out here today, folks. Let's see if he can get it together. Bolts one and strike. And another strike. Little Huey Freeman is getting that pitching arm warmed up now, folks. And that is 2 back-to-back strikeouts. Dolo steps up to the plate. We've been waiting for this matchup all day. And Dolo got the That's gonna leave a mark in his pants. Damn!
Good job, boy. This game is more important than you. Someone get him some Demerol. But make sure it's the good stuff.
In the kicker's box right now is Huey Freeman, the pride of Woodcrest. Everybody's cheering for him. Here he goes.
Got him.
The ball is coming up. He's got it. But, you know what? A little bit curly, but it'll get the job done. Next up is Riley Freeman. Wait a minute. Hold on. What's this? Oh, my. His first time at the plate, and he's calling a home run. And Ming let's go with a fireball. Riley, get it out. Strike 2. Strike 3.
Good grief.
Thumbs up is getting a good stretch on. We don't expect a whole lot of this time. Apologizing here, folks. Tom has really put his relay right back to Ming. She locks in. Tom is in midst of celebration. No ball. Oh, looks like it's lights out for Tom. Folks, Ming is really giving the crowd here quite a lesson in kickball today. Mr. Freeman, he's gonna give it all he's got. And he does give it all he's got, which frankly just is not a lot. Quite anemic. But Mr. Freeman better make it to first base as soon as he can. Looks like he's just gonna take one of those old people walking around the mall leisurely stroll.
I'm out. Yep, I'm out.
Oh, there he goes. Lights out for the old man. Here, hey. These folks are giving the Americans quite a schooling. We got an easy out. Now the ball. Oh, looks like we don't have an easy out. I don't know what's going on here, but this American team has lost its wheels. Now we got a kick. We got a runner. He's big. Nice tennis shoes, by the way. Probably made by tiny little hands in a Chinese factory. Now the Chinese. Now that's wrong. Now that's 3 on 1, and that's wrong.
Then what the hell do you think you're doing? I paid you good money for this game.
Yeah, so did he.
If you're looking for an easy dessert,
I'll take the Chinese money.
Maker's whipped cream, the smooth, cool.
Listen, I don't care if the refs are cheating. We cannot lose this game. The stakes are too high.
Well, who bet the whole town on a kickball game?
Okay, maybe it was a wrong decision to bet all of our economic futures on a kickball game. Well, we're Americans. We don't quit just because we're wrong. We just keep doing the wrong thing until it turns out right.
This is stupid. I'm going home.
What about them, Huey? Your teammates. You got them into this. Now you're turning your back on them?
We gotta make the motherfuckers pay.
Come on, Huey. I don't want to play no more neither, but we can't go out like a bunch of little bitches. Granddad?
I'm trying to save my house and my big titty porn.
It's up to you, Huey. The sooner you stop holding back and decide to play like a winner, the sooner we can all go home.
Woodcrest really needs something special happening for them today, folks, because this Chinese team is really owning their Now we're talking. That's the Huey Freeman this city has fallen in love with and feared slightly too, I gotta admit that. Folks, we got us a game all of a sudden here. Folks, we're ready to get back into the action here, but there's no ref.
So this is it. This is your ultimate contest.
In China, there is this place. I've never seen it, but I know it exists. It is called the Glorious Sports Rehabilitation Center. But really, it's a prison camp for athletes who have shamed their country by losing. My grandfather told me if I disgrace him with failure, he will send me there. I too dream of the day I can walk away from this game forever. I am not as lucky as you to have that choice, to live in America.
Tragically, we've just received word that the ref strangled himself, jumped off a bridge, then overdosed on amphetamines.
Send my condolences to his family.
But fortunately, we found a completely fair and impartial replacement.
Hey there, Chairman Mao. Hang song ta ta time time. Open up your eyes and let's play some damn baseball. Freeman on the mound, and he must really be feeling the pressure right now.
Man, Boondoggle, what a masterpiece.
Freeman gives up a base kick on what should have been an easy strikeout.